Wife doesn't know it, but today I'm going to steal her car and put it on the dyno. But first, going to get an air filter and do an oil change. But we got a dyno appointment for 3 p.m. Going to see how much power she makes. So this is our 13 Ford Fusion SE with the 2-liter Ecoboost. It has an E30 AJPTurbo tune and nothing else. Well, I guess it's got 1-step colder plugs out of my exploded Taurus. Exploded, internal failure, same thing. But other than spark plugs, and then we're going to get a drop-in air filter today just because the one that's in there is kind of nasty. And we're going to see what she does. I also need to take some of this and do another drain and fill because if you guys have been following along, the trans fluid that came out of this, 79,000 miles, was like engine oil. And I only swapped in 4 quarts, did 1 drain and fill. So definitely going to have to do 1, maybe 2 more drain and fills. So as far as what we're running, like I said, it's an E30 tune. We're only commanding 18 pounds. We're not really sending it, but turbo's maxed out anyways. I know a lot of the guys like to run like 22, 23 pounds. We're commanding 18. But the thing about that is when you spin that turbo up so much, you're definitely overheating the charge. You're causing a lot of extra strain on the turbo, and not to mention your load is going to be about the same as when you're commanding 18 pounds just because of all that extra heat and the turbo's not working efficiently. So kind of in the end, commanding lower boosts is better for you. This is the words from my tuner, so I'm not a tuner by any means, so don't take anything that I say as 100%. However, this is what he's told me. He had a 2.0 Fusion on E85. He's got a Fusion Sport now. He used to have a show, and I trust what he says on this one. So that, and I think we've got a little bit lower timing than some people on E30 would normally run. I think we're like 16, 17 degrees. Kind of depends on how happy the knock sensors are. More horsepower! Right there. That's where the show blew up. So sad. But now I can be nice and slow in a Fusion for another 2 years while I wait on parts. I don't actually think that the KN filters give more horsepower, at least in this sense. But the thing about it is, this one needs changed. 100% needs changed. Yeah. So I'm going to slap this one in there. I figure just because of the fact that it's washable, and then I wanted to buy another one. It's the only real reason that I bought it. That and my buddy gave me a hookup on it. So, going to throw this in. Oh, it won't be on stock anymore. It's modded now. It's modded. Probably could have done a little bit longer on that, but figure may as well. I always loved this air box. So air filter is in. A cool trick for the dyno is to kind of reduce some rolling resistance. I'm going to air up the tires a little bit. They're at 32 pounds. I'm probably going to put them at 36 or 38. But basically, that allows you to have a little bit less of a friction loss on the dyno. So, going to air up tires. I think after that, that's all I'm going to do. But, like I said, I think it'll make like 235 horsepower and 275 foot-pounds of torque. But I don't know. We may be surprised. But not fast, like you saw on Draggy's 14.3. I might try adjusting it like I do at the drag strip when I would go with the show, and see if I can get that 60 foot down. I'll probably air down the tires a little bit after the dyno and see if I can get it to hook a little bit more. Otherwise, you know, just take this giant radial and we'll just roll this over here. I think this will fit on. I don't even think that would fit in the wheel well. Jeez. Come on, let me see. That'd be ridiculous. Anyways, different bolt pattern, so I'll never do that. But I would probably break the entire car if I were to put these radials on it. That's ridiculous. It makes the 18s on the Fusion look like baby tires. These wheels look so much better without that plastic dip on it though. So let's go get an oil change. My buddy works at a quick change place, so have him do that for us real quick because he doesn't get anything special because it's the daily. My boy's hooking me up, so I gotta hook them up, of course. You know, gotta make sure they fed. Alright, oil change done. A little hot out, but gonna go let the car sit for a couple hours and cool down. So it's 90 degrees out, and like I said, the dyno is about 2 minutes from my place. So I'm gonna let this cool off for a couple hours. I really want to make sure that I don't have a bunch of heat soak. That's kind of killer on the dyno, especially with something with the stock intercooler and such an inefficient turbo. I just want to make sure that everything is good to go as far as temps. Maybe I need to bring a bottle of nitrous too. I'm just kidding. But figure if I'm going to go to the dyno, I may as well try to get it as cool as I can in the time being. So going to let it sit here for a couple hours and then head over there. Well, we're over here at the dyno. I'm going to pull the car in. Going to do E30 tune pull, and then I'm going to use some nitrous on the intercooler, get it kind of chilled, and then that'll be second run, and then last run I'm going to swap back to stock tune and see what she does on stock tune.
Good, straight on back. Good. Turn left just a tad bit. Yep, back. There you go. Come on. Straight back now.
So if you can hear me over this fan, first run was 4th gear, and then we ran back to back with 5th gear. So 5th gear looks like it went out a little bit further to 62, and 4th gear was shifting at 5,500. But 5th gear is kind of a lot. That's a lot of mile an hour basically. But 250 and then 325 on the torque. Definitely more than I thought. We're gonna wait a little bit, let the intercooler cool down, and then hit the intercooler with some nitrous, let it chill out, and then do another run, and then go back to stock and see what it makes stock. So I'm gonna let it cool down for a little bit. Not really a fan of how strung out 5th gear is, so just gonna keep it in 4th. That 5th looks like it's loading up that turbo a little bit early on, but that pull is so long, I'm not trying to break, you know, another one of my vehicles. So 4th gear I think is going to be the money, even though torque is a little bit lower.
Beautiful.
Alright, now we're going to switch back to stock. So I asked my tuner about this before I did it, but the E30 that's in here will act like 93 as far as octane, and he said it'll just compensate. So this will give us a good baseline on seeing how giving or not this dyno is. So we'll return to stock. So while that's flashing, we made another 5 horsepower and a foot-pound torque, but it's weird to see that down low was a little bit lower, but up top it kind of kept up. So kind of curious on that, but it's hard telling. Alright, so because the BDX is such a shitty device, it's been about 10 minutes, and that'll give us some good cool down time, kind of make things equal. I'm expecting the stock tune to be a little bit high. I think we're a little giving on this dyno. Alright, just quickly going over this. First run, 4th gear, was 252 and 301. That was a little bit of cool down time. And then the second run was 5th gear, 250 and 325. That was a hell of a run. That thing lasted forever, and I was a little spooked, not gonna lie. But then the last one, we cooled down the intercooler and then did 4th gear run again and made 257 and 302, and then the last one is stock, and that made 196 and 213. So pretty big gain, about 50 horsepower over stock, and then about 90 foot-pounds of torque. That 5th gear run really made a lot of torque at 325. I think that's because of that extra load, spooled up that turbo quite a bit, but pretty interesting. So thanks for joining me on this little stealing of my wife's car, tuning it and dynoing it. I enjoyed it. I made a little bit more power than I thought I was going to, but if you guys like it, then be sure to give me a follow, and I'll probably do some more shenanigans. Probably not on the Fusion though. That's going to stay stock. I say that. I've always said all my vehicles are going to stay stock, but pretty good. So see you guys in the next one.